Okay, this is more, there are people who explain the Quran and miracles by time travel portals and hidden dimensions. All of this is kadhib. It's a lie upon Allah. It's iftira upon Allah. These are just the ramblings of insane people. These are majaneen, as Shaykh Ali Nasir al-Faqihi described them. When you deny what is so clear and apparent and obvious in hiss, then the only other way is junoon, to go in the way of junoon. Right? And so these all are just fantasies that they are inventing. I mean, in fact, there's a whole story behind this. I don't want to go into too much, this whole Big Bang cosmology and, everything that emanates from that. The reason why that came about is simply because in the 19th century, they could not prove the motion of the earth. Very simple. Right? And so the whole of science was in a dilemma. Right? It was a big thing in the newspapers, in scientific journals. This you were never taught this in school. All you're taught is the solar system and the planets and this whatever. You're never taught that good old Einstein was brought along because despite trying to prove during the whole of the 19th century that the earth is moving, they could not do so. This meant that the whole Copernicus, that was totally false. Right? So then they had to invent explanations to explain away those experiments. That's why they brought special relativity and then general relativity on the back of that. Then they brought these other conjectures purely through mathematics that there could be a Big Bang, and all of it after that is just further and further and further away from misguidance, further and further away from misguidance. Right? You just become deluded. Like there are many similarities in religion, in religious sciences, with worldly sciences. Right? Allah said in the Quran, "Ala lahul khalqu wal amr." To Allah belongs the creation and the command. Right? The command is His Sharia. Now, in the Sharia, there are ulum, there are sciences, right? And from the sciences is His names and attributes. We know that among the Muslims have deviated in the ulum of the Sharia. Have they not? Do we not have Jahmiyyah, Mu'tazila, Ash'ariyah? Right? They've deviated from these ulum, which are very apparent and clear in the Quran. In the same way, and also when they reject the truth and they deviate, you see that they slowly deviate further and further away and go into greater and greater misguidance, right? So we start with rejection of Allah's attributes, we end up with wahdatul wujud. You see, right? The same thing happens in the worldly sciences. You deny something obvious in fitrah, hiss, and even aql, right? And you deny that at the beginning, then you are going to be led slowly further and further and further away until you enter into absolute ridiculousness. Like you become majaneen, just as Shaykh Ali Nasir basically said. Right? And all of this, these things that they are doing, what they've done here is all of these ideas are to hide the real cosmology from you. These are all fairy tales that they're giving to you. They're so complex, so hard to understand. You don't have the IQ of Einstein, that's why you can't understand it. This is all part of propaganda, right? What they know, the people at the top, they know what we are living upon, and they know that the sun and moon, they are what are in motion, and the stars are what in motion. Right? They know this full well, right? But it's a matter of control of knowledge, control of ilm, right? And that's what these people, this is their greatest power. The greatest power is control of the means of knowledge itself. And that's how they've positioned themselves, and we go back to the history now, and that is in the clear record that they've made a concerted effort over the past 200-300 years through the British Royal Society and these other type of organizations to actually take control of the actual means of knowledge itself. And that's what you have today with all of the journals control, all of the research control by funding or whatever. You are not getting objective, true, real science, right? What we have is a fantasy world, the real world that they know, that everything is electrical, energy, vibration. The universe, it's biological life is digital in nature. It's actually digital in nature. electric is what governs electricity or electric charge, whatever. They know all this, and so they are developing technology unbeknown to us to harness that. Meanwhile, they feed the idiots, 10 dimensions, string theory, portals, this, wormholes, this, whatever. And that's what they're doing. Right? So this last question, when you hear people speaking about this, go back to the scientific method. So what experiment did you do? What experiment has someone done that there's a wormhole? Let's do an experiment. There's a wormhole in the ground. You put your head next to it. I'll take a sledgehammer. I'll whack you and see how quickly you go through that wormhole to the other side. These people are majaneen. They don't understand what science is, and they just believe in fairy tales. And just like they accuse us, you believe in a book. So what are you believing then? What are you reading then? Where does that come from? And how? And is what you have, is it knowledge, or is it just conjecture and fairy tales? See, so when you see through all of this, there's nothing that these people are upon, right? Obviously, they're being deceived by the pseudoscience, and obviously they need advice. They need the proof shown to them. They need the evidence shown to them. Some of them would be arrogant. Like I said, you can't help those people. But many of them, there are many who are genuinely, they have been taken in by the material pseudoscience. And for them, obviously we don't belittle them or make fun of them. If they are genuinely misguided, we have to basically, with wisdom, with knowledge, having full understanding ourselves, basically call these people, invite these people, and bring them back to their senses, bring them back to the fitrah, bring them back to see what they are seeing with their eyes and to remove the veils from them. Right? That's what we have to do. So inshallah, I'll conclude on that note. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.